all, in this video we will see about northern blotting. Northern blotting is referred as the process of identifying specific RNA molecules among the mixture of total RNAs extracted from a cell or organisms by gel electrophoresis, then immobilize the RNA molecules by transfer into solid support membranes and detect our specific RNA of interest by hybridization with labeled probes. The labeling may be radioactive or non-radioactive. And this northern blot is used to analyze the expression of a gene at specific tissue, organ or cell, or the expression of specific gene at different time points of growth of an organisms, or different treatment conditions of the drugs or chemicals. And this northern blotting was reported by Kemp and Stark in the year 1977. So they published their report in the year 1977. The title is Method for Detection of a Specific RNAs in Agarose Gel Transfer by Diazobenzyl oxymethyl paper and hybridization with DNA probes. So they prepare the complementary cDNA molecules and use a single strand of cDNA as a probe. Now we will see the major steps involving in the northern blotting. The first step is extraction of RNA from the organisms. It may be plant, animal or cell cultures. So generally the popular Trizol reagent is used by following the vendor's protocol to extract the RNA. The extraction of RNA need more attention since the RNA prone to degradation very fast. The second step is preparation of a probe. The cDNA is obtained for our specific RNA of interest by RT-PCR and the probe is labeled with non-radioactive DIG or radio-labeled P35 probes. So once we get RNA and probes, next step is we have to perform gel electrophoresis. Here we prepare the agarose gel. In addition, we will add formaldehyde up to 10 to 12% in the gel. So this will keep the RNA in denature and linear form so that RNA degradation will be prevented and also it ease the movement of RNA molecules. After that, we have to transfer the resolved RNA molecules into a membrane. Most commonly nitrocellulose or nylon membranes are used, PVDF membranes also used. Then we have to detect with the probes labeled with DIG or P35. Now we will see about RNA extraction. The RNA is prone to degrade, hence care should be taken to get high quality of RNA. So we have to strictly follow all the precautions in all the steps of extraction of RNA molecule. And once we extracted, the quality and quantity of the RNA must be checked in a nanodrop or any other method to ensure the quality is very good. If necessary, treat the extracted RNA with DNase treatment so that may remove the presence of DNA in the sample. So the extracted RNA is immediately stored in minus 80 degrees Celsius for up to months or years. Whenever we need, we will take out and we will use it for our experiment. Unlike southern blot, the RNA is not subjected to restriction digestion. Since most of the RNA molecules are mRNA molecules, their size is limited. So restriction digestion is not performed and depurination also not performed in case of RNA analysis by northern blotting techniques. Now we will see the RNA agarose gel electrophoresis. So here formaldehyde added to the agarose gel up to 12.58%. Generally 17 ml of 37% formaldehyde is present in 50 ml of gel mixture. And the addition of formaldehyde and further steps is followed inside the fume hood to avoid the toxic effect. And ethidium bromide staining of the gel is done after completion of the electrophoresis, or the ethidium bromide is added along with the RNA loading mix and perform the electrophoresis. And most cases the distilled water is treated with diethyl pyrocarbonate, that is well known RNase inhibitor. so that it will keep RNA in good condition. And prior to load the RNA and buffer mix sample in the gel, it is better to heat at 65 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes prior to loading. So once load everything, place the upper cover plate of the gel to minimize the diffuse out of formaldehyde and run at low voltage approximately 25 volt for long time. Especially overnight is preferable to prevent formaldehyde leakage. In addition, the MOPS sodium acetate EDTA based buffer is used for the gel preparation and gel running. So once we complete the electrophoresis and confirm the presence of RNA, next step is we have to transfer into a membrane. So we follow classical capillary methods of transfer. Similar, we take a big container, in the bottom we filled with buffer, SSC buffer or MOPS buffer is preferred, or gel running buffer we can use it in the bottom. Then we place a raised platform and place 2 long towel papers pre-wetted with SSC buffer, over which thick filter pads 3 numbers are placed, and above which the RNA gel is placed, above which pre-wetted membrane, it may be nylon or nitrocellulose membrane or PVDF is placed. If it is PVDF, we have to pre-wet with methanol for 30 seconds is preferable. Then we carefully remove the air bubbles present in between the gel and the membrane, and again sandwiched with thick filter pads or filter papers, that too pre-wetted in the buffer. Then stack with dry filter papers up to 10 to 15 centimeter height, over which approximately 800 gram weight is placed so that it give a compactness, and overnight capillary movement takes place that will pull the RNA present in the gel towards the membrane side. Once it reaches membrane, the membrane capture the RNA molecules with high affinity. Similar to southern blot, the electrophoresis based wet transfer and semi-dry transfer also used for transferring the RNA molecules. Wet transfer takes 1 to 4 hour time and semi-dry transfer takes 5 to 20 minutes time. And mostly the classical capillary method of transfer is most effective, and more than 90% of the RNA molecules are transferred to the membrane. Next step is hybridization and detection of RNA. So here, after the completion, carefully mark the membrane with a pencil on the side in which RNA molecules are moved. The reason is most of the nylon membranes have adhering to RNA with only one side, and another side of the membrane is not having affinity with the membrane. So generally after the overnight or weekend transfer, we will take the membrane and UV cross-link the membrane by exposing to UV light for permanent fixing of the RNA molecules into the membrane. If it is nitrocellulose, we have to bake at 85 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. Then use appropriate blocking agents for DIG based detection, and excess probes are washed after the incubation with SSC buffer and detect the RNA by chemiluminescence or autoradiography techniques. Now we will see some of the key advantages and disadvantages of northern blot. Northern blot detect the small changes in spatial and temporal expression pattern of a gene, and the degradation by RNAs by the endogenous or external contaminations is a key challenge in performing the northern blotting. So usage of DEPC treated water can minimize the RNase based degradation, and northern blot involves harmful chemicals such as formaldehyde and ethidium bromide and other chemicals. It is better always perform the northern blot inside a fume hood to avoid any harmful effects. And northern blot have high specificity and low sensitivity than real-time PCR or reverse transcription PCR. So in real-time PCR the sensitivity is high but specificity sometimes questionable. In addition, northern blot helps to detect the size of the RNA molecules as well as alternative splicing of the gene by utilizing specific sequenced probes. And these membranes can be stored in deep freezer and reprobed even after 1 year. Thank you.